Okay. Shut that. Still fine, still okay, still perfectly fine. Keep cool, keep focused. Oh my god. I couldn't even scream, I just jumped. Welcome to the video, heads. I'm sure plenty of you are at the very least aware of this game's existence. Oh, wait. This game. I'm talking about this game. It would have been expected at some point, so we might as well pull off our empty Freddy Fazbear head now. We're talking FNAF. And as a somewhat fan of the franchise, I can certainly say that every game, mainline or fan-made, is made. Then again, this is coming from the guy who's never actually played any of these games. And as a wise therapist once said, if I want to forge an opinion on something, I should at least have my own personal experience before doing so. And what better place to start than with? So, I don't own Five Nights at Freddy's. Big deal. We have plenty of other games on the fan-made side of things, like this one.
What the f*** is that? Hold it!
Sorry about this, but there's something I should confess before we fully step into the game. At the time of recording, I wasn't aware of this, but apparently, I wasn't recording the game's audio. I know, right? I'm very professional. So while I'm going to try and fix it in editing by putting in all the sound effects and voice lines manually, if anything sounds off at any point or sound effects are out of sync, that's probably why. Not wasting any time and diving first into night one, let's take some time to introduce some of the cast and explain some of the game mechanics. But what about the story? And what better place to start than with the main guy on the metaphorical cartridge, the office. Now obviously you got a standard run-of-the-mill Five Nights at Freddy's main office. A clock to track your progress as the night progresses. A computer monitor which displays the amount of percentage left in the office's power and just that. I appreciate the thought, but knowing that in-universe is the only thing that computer's for really irks me for some reason. Honestly wish I had other functions besides being a meter that tells me how close I am to being fucked. I don't need the reminder. Then again, this is a Five Nights game, so I don't know why I'm trying to apply logic to a fictional computer inside my computer. Well, besides that, you got your standard doors and door light. Never mind, it was a stupid feature anyways. And we got some cameras, which, never mind, it was a stupid feature anyways. No, wait, I'm stupid. I could just enable the night vision. This isn't much better. Now as for the door lights, yeah, you're fucked. Well, how do I know when they're there then?
Hi, how are you?
4 of the 7 animatronics' eyes glow in the dark, meaning when they turn up at your door, you'll know. Let's just get the basic ones out of the way. These 3. Let's see, we got Cindy with a penis, and a man with too many opposable appendages. The gang's all here. We'll start with the blue Cindy since he's the main Cindy on the box. Now Cindy B stands over on the main stage right next to Cindy. That's Cam 1 for all you Five Nights at Candy's purists out there. When the night starts and he's allowed to move, he moves over to main hall 1, which is Cam 2. And from there, I am at a loss. There's a set route, no doubt, but for some reason they gave this bastard the gift of choice. So now he can go here, or here, or here, or here, until he inevitably ends up at one of your doors where you need to stop him quickly before he turns you into red mist. Luckily, these doors function as doors, so as long as you close them before he enters the room, you'll save yourself the embarrassment of getting played like a hand puppet by a 7-foot-tall animatronic cat. The same can be said about Cindy, only instead some of you wouldn't mind the previous hand puppet depiction. You know who you are. Cindy has a more streamlined path, which I'll reveal to you like so. She attacks from the right door, and her eyes glow so she's easy to spot. Now what do we do when there's a 7-foot-tall murderous hulking monstrosity of a robot at our door?
Don't even think about it.
For the last animatronic of the night, we got a monkey. It's just a monkey. Starting in Cam 9, otherwise known as the secondary part room, behind Chester's curtain, we find resident Chester's curtain resident, Chester. Let's not concern ourselves with what he does in there, and instead concern ourselves with what he'll do to us if we fail to keep him away. He acts like the other 2, he follows this path, attacks from the left door, and his eyes glow. After completing the night, we get this neat little cutscene which supposedly tells us a story. Though I didn't really pay attention to what it was trying to convey. I was busy shooting myself after the weird puppet guy jumped me. So with that, night 1 comes to a close and we can step straight into night 2. Starting off night 2, Off-Brand Phone Guy introduces us to the next character of the cast. I don't know what it is, but for some reason I really don't like this little bastard. Anyways, Pangu here starts over at Cam 12, just behind this door right here. His pathing's laid out like so. and his eyes glow in the dark just like the others. What makes Feathers McGraw different from the rest of Cindy's merry band lies in the fact that he doesn't jump scare you. Instead, he just waltzes right in, claims a space beneath the desk, you better not do what I think you're about to do, and every once in a while he starts fucking with the doors. I mean, technically this could be a bad thing, but then again, during the night that he managed to get in, he actually shut the door on one of the more difficult animatronics and helped me out, so I wouldn't really consider him a detriment to the night. Now, does this change my current views on Cobblepot?
No.
Night 2 is just night 1 with a toddler walking around. Just shut the doors and take a break from the world, and eventually everyone will fuck off for the night. Just as our role model once said.
But don't let me be your role model on that one.
As for Night 2's ending cutscene, after a good minute of just audio, the camera comes back to life and we see... Oh, okay, that's a graphic. Definitely wasn't expecting 5 seconds of bone and blood in my children's horror game. Night 3 is where things get real.
Somebody's probably said that before.
We've seen him once or twice before while skimming through the cameras, but it's only now that he's become a looming minor inconvenience. Say hello to...
It's blank.
You see that window in front of you? That's the ticket counter. As apparently security also has to handle that too. Pushing this button right here beneath the desk shows us that this window has its own door. But why's that? Last I'd heard, we were told that nothing would come through that window. Much like FNAF 1's Foxy, Blank here has several phases he goes through before busting through the window and turning your spine into bone broth. He starts off in Cam 11, hunched over on the leftmost side, then cycles through several other phases before he inevitably, oh fuck. Once he leaves Cam 11, he's going to be in Cam 5, which if you notice from the map, is right outside that window. Make sure that door is shut as soon as he leaves Cam 11, because if you don't, glass shards aren't going to be the only thing lodged in your face. So yeah, Blank is the first actually difficult animatronic. If only the others weren't already piss-ass easy. See, because of the glowing eyes trait that the other three already have, Blank is the only reason you would ever have to look at the cameras. Cause why the fuck would you need to keep track of the others when 2 little white dots in the void of darkness let you know that Big Dick Randy is right there? And well yes, the next animatronic has its own unique little quirk. It's not gonna matter in the long run when these things exist. We'll get to them, don't worry. Just keep an eye on Blank, shut the doors for glowing eyes, and keep that fucking penguin out from under the desk. Oh, okay, we're back here. I wanna get jumped again, aren't I? Gonna be closer. I didn't get jumped this time. I'm laughing because I got jumped by going back to static. Night 4. Who the fuck? Who the fuck? Now honestly, I don't know the context behind Old Man Cindy B, nor am I willing to spend a single ounce of effort researching lore about this game. I already spent far too much time researching mechanics, so forgive my lack of interest. He starts off in the dark recesses of parts and surfaces, peeking his head out from the shadows. Once he starts moving, he goes down this path and attacks from the left door. As always, shut the door to keep him out. What makes Retired Cindy B different from the rest of the cast lies in the simple fact that his eyes don't glow in the dark, meaning if he's at your door, you'll have no way of knowing unless you spot him on the camera with your night vision. So, technically speaking, the cameras have another use. Technically. Anyways, I just alternated between the left door cam and Blank's room, so to do that in this night's a breeze. Ending cutscene shows us that they were finally able to clean up the conveyor and put it back to use. And we see our 2 main mascots riding down the belt. We look over to see the puppet guy again. He points back to the opposite side of the room. Well, you might as well see what he's pointing at. Oh, okay, hey guys. And the camera goes static. Night 4, but harder. Same stress as before, just keep a closer eye on Blank and Veterans in DB. And the cutscene is actually a flashback. We see an inactive retired Cindy B and Blank back when they weren't trying to carve out my insides with claws and shards of glass. Puppet appears, calls me a mistake, a bit uncalled for, then calls me a problem, now you're just being mean, and the feed cuts. So that was 5 Nights at Candy, I'm a win. But don't think we're done just yet, because as is tradition, any game which possesses the words 5 and nights isn't actually limited in the amount of nights the game actually contains. So it looks like we're putting in some overtime. Great. Now, Night 6. was my first death. Off rip, we get another new character joining the cast, completing our animatronic septet. Meet the Rat. Now Rat is just old man Cindy B on drugs. Starting over in Cam 9 behind this door right here, he forgoes the option of wasting time that the others commit to and instead jumps right to the door cams.
This is wrong, by the way. He actually travels through cams 02, 03, 05, 07, and 08 before reaching either door cam. So in actuality, he's more like Cindy B in the sense that he gets to pick and choose which way he decides to go. It just so happens that the night this rat bastard decides to show himself, his difficulty set to a point where it feels like he instant transitions right beside you and starts railing your ass.
You already know.
Pile on the fact that you can't see his eyes in the dark, and Rat is by far the most annoying character established. Notice how I didn't say difficult.
It's the same thing as Night 5, just now you're watching both doors because Rat can't decide which camera gets his good side. Honestly, the fact that it was Rat that got me this night is kind of reassuring considering he's the final boss of the main game. Put quotations around that. Once the night's completed, we get a cutscene of Rat, Cindy B the prequel, and Blank seated on a conveyor belt. Rat stands up, Rat leaves, Rat decks camera. The company gives us a raise, and we get a cool little extras menu in the title screen. What the fuck is that?
Oh my god.
Now obviously we gotta play this on the highest difficulty setting just to really get ourselves immersed. So let's get all these bastards, and Cindy, set to 20. However, considering the spike in difficulty compared to the main game nights, I think it's about time we actually put together a strategy towards completing this night instead of just raw dogging it whenever Cindy appears at the door. And by put together a strategy, I mean just take the one that everyone already uses. So I think now's the time I explained why the doors in this game are fucking broken. Now pay attention to the door button.
Why?
See that little meter of light slowly filling up? That little meter represents the amount of power the door is actually taking from the generator which is powering your office. Obviously, the longer the door's kept shut, the more lights turn on and the more power the door drains. And then reopening the doors and giving them a break resets that strain back down. What's not as obvious, however, is just how much power is being drained while there are no or one lights active. And it is really little. So little, in fact, that as long as I open the door before they reach the second light, let the meter go back down to 0, and then close them again right after, I've effectively made it impossible for any roaming animatronics to ever get inside the office. Keep in mind that it takes an animatronic a few seconds to actually go into the office once they're right outside. Then when shutting the door on them, those few seconds are paused while a new timer starts to determine how long they'll stay at the door before leaving to another cam. That timer pauses when the door is reopened. But because of how unbelievably quick the door cooldown is, even if you open the door while one of them is right outside, you just shut them again. Because the attack timer will pretty much never have a chance of reaching 0, and the doors are always shut, so the reach timer will always finish first. So that technicality from before, the one I explicitly stated for the animatronics without glowing eyes, yeah, that's gone. Which just leaves Blank. And when the whole strategy is peek the camera, he's gone, shut the door, repeat, he's not exactly much of a difficulty increase either. And funnily enough, you don't even have to watch Blank. You can just add his door to the routine and now no one can get in. I'm honestly embarrassed this night took me 12 attempts. I'm gonna do one attempt normally, where I'm just using the same strategy I did for the other ones, where I actually pay attention to the cameras and everything, including left and right, and close them when I actually need to. Besides that, watch Blank normally, and then if I fail at that attempt, depending how far I get along doing that, I'm probably just gonna do the easier solution. So that's why I'm kind of glad I picked this one first, because I plan on doing all the custom nights at 20 modes, except for Ultimate. Now whether I beat them or not is a different strategy, is a different thing altogether. Damn. Damn. That's at the door, Rat's not at the door, okay. You're gone. Cindy.
How you doing?
Monkey. Or whichever one that is, I have no idea. Holy fuck! He's already at the door.
Can I take your order?
Oh! Fucking Pengu!
Can I take your order?
Motherfucker.
Can I take your order?
Thank you.
Can I take your order?
You close that door. Oh my god, it's 2 AM and I'm struggling because of Pengu. Stop that. I'm gonna close this up.
Can I take your order?
Oh, I'm dead anyways.
We've been trying to contact you regarding your car's extended warranty for quite some time now.
I'm dead. Really? I predicted that one. Ah, fuck. I just realized I was still closed. I pushed the wrong... I fat fingered it. God damn it. First try. And with that, the final night comes to a close. We get 5 for tampering with the machinery. You couldn't keep it in your pants, could you? And we have officially completed 5 nights at Candy's. Okay, never mind. One more night to go through, and this one is quite different from the others. Null Night is the secret special night that can only be got to by inputting a set assortment of numbers into the custom night menu. The way to acquire said numbers is by going into the extras menu and scrolling through the animatronics tab over to the rat. Just zoom in on his face, and after a few seconds he'll start tweaking out like a meth addict who's been off the stuff for the past 2 hours. While he goes into seizure, the screen also freaks out and a line of 7 numbers ranging from 1 through 20 appears on screen one by one. Input these numbers into the custom night by their position on the screen and start the night. If done correctly, once the night starts, open the cameras and select the main stage cam where you find a very special animatronic. Then just throw the monitor back down and we can get right into Null Night. Kicking things off, this night is fundamentally different from what the game has previously been throwing us night after night. Flipping up the monitor and going into this new tomb where the camera map's grown, we discover our main and only threat of the night slouched over in the back alley. The same alley where the rat starts out on any other night while the camera isn't available. What you may have also noticed is that Shadow Candy himself is fully visible on the cams even when the night vision is disabled. Keep that in mind for later, as this information is necessary for not dying during the night. Speaking of not dying, the first fundamental change of this night comes in the fact that even when he reaches you in your office, Shadow Candy can't outright kill you. Instead, his jumpscare does... this. Which drains away 6% of the power and winds back the night by an hour. And once power reaches 0... so it's probably best we find ways to ensure that doesn't happen. Now obviously there's the first and recommended option of keeping him out of the office in the first place, because even though Shadow Candy is... a shadow, he can still be shut out via the doors. But this doesn't solve everything as, while yes he can't attack him and wind back the clock, he does still drain power when he bangs on the doors, which is where the camera system comes into play. You see, Cindy B's apparition doesn't just jump straight to the doors like a certain feline's prey animal. It instead hops out of Cam 13 and spends some time roaming around the building. In that time of what I believe to be 10 seconds, if you manage to find him in the building and hold the camera on him, Buddy here gets performance anxiety and runs back to his starting camp to recompose himself. So as long as you're able to repeat this cycle for the next 6 minutes, you should be able to get through the night without any hitches. But of course, you may slip up. Which is why there's one last little feature which can further improve your chance of survival. And that all boils down to this little figure right here. This is Origami Cat, and its job is to revert the time change effect that Shadow Candy causes whenever it manages to get the jump on you. Whenever Shadow Candy catches you in a jump scare, Origami Cat vanishes from the desk and is now hiding somewhere else in the building. If you manage to find it in the midst of Shadow Candy's assault, just click on it and boom, time reverts back to normal. I didn't do this. In fact, it wasn't until after recording when I finally remembered that this thing was a mechanic. So I built and played around the fact that I believed he didn't exist. And honestly, I do feel my strategy worked pretty well. And it's actually pretty simple. Going back to that whole Shadow Candy is visible even without night vision, it does warrant explaining that when you're searching for him through the cams, that he can only be seen either through night vision or without it individually. So say you think he's in cam 10, but when you go there you don't find anything, so you figure it's a false alarm and to conserve power you decide to turn night vision off. Oh, there he is. Just be sure that when you're checking cams you check both with and without night vision. Now as for my strategy, it went something like this. Start up in cam 13 with Shadow Candy and simply wait for him to make a move. Once he leaves the cam, quickly pass through all the cams he can be in during the 10-second roaming period, making sure to pass through once with each night vision enabled, again with it disabled, and if you're quick enough, pass through with it enabled again just to make sure he didn't end up moving and that's why you couldn't see him in the first 2 passes. Cause he tends to do that. If you don't manage to find him in time, instead of checking for which door he decides to appear at, just shut all 3 doors and wait for him to start knocking. He usually knocks 3 times before he leaves, but it can be less sometimes. Once you're certain he's gone, open the doors and quickly flip the monitor back up. Pass through the cams another 2 times, and if you find him, hold it on him until he goes back to cam 13, in which you'll have a 10-second grace period before he starts moving again. And if you don't, shut all 3 doors again and repeat the cycle until you do. With good reaction time, a decently quick mouse hand, and a bit of luck, you can fully get through the night without Shadow Candy ever once making it into the office. Get back over there. I think we're good. Camera 13 unlocked. Doesn't mean shit for me, because I beat everything, don't need to do this again.
Wanna know what happened? I already got tickets to the funeral!
And that was Five Nights at Cindy's, featuring Blank, and a special guest appearance by Shadow Candy. Now that I've actually played the game for myself, I can safely say without a shadow of a doubt that this game is... Huh. It says decent. Obviously the game's stupid easy, barring my 12 game overs of the main nights and custom night. But also keep in mind that I'm terrible with anything horror related, so the fact that I'm able to complete this game 100%, I'd say that statement's perfectly valid. I didn't care for the story, but then again, I don't really have any care for lore and even the main franchise. I just find the theory videos entertaining. But all in all, I'd say the game was decent. Definitely a pick up, play once, had my fill, goodbye type of game, but frankly I think this was the best game I could have started with. Since it only gets worse from here. I will play the sequels at some point, but for the moment I want to check out some of the other franchises. Maybe Pop Goes or something, I don't know. So until then, like the video, subscribe to my channel to get notified of the next upload, and I'll see you next time when we play... No!